come to Key West after you go to another cruise port, before you come back to the US, you have to go through customs. And we just went through. It took about, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, it's faster than celebrity took forever.
Yeah. And we got a little star to signify that we have been through customs. So, the more you know. We just went through security to get out to Key West. They did need our photo ID. That's the first time we've had to show a photo ID since 2017, 15, something like that. Yeah, which is good. That's fine with me. I don't care. Just something to be aware of that you will need it for Key West. But when we were on Celebrity, we didn't need it. So I don't know. Just go with the flow, I guess. So when you come out from the cruise ship, you're going to take a right on White Herd Street, I believe is what it's called. Anyways, and it's about a 20-minute walk straight down. That's the quickest way there. We had to help some people that had trouble with their phone. I feel bad because I had to connect to my hotspot, but the further away we get, the more trouble they're probably going to have because it's not going to connect. So I hope they figure it out. We're about 600 feet from the Hemingway house. It's about a 20 to 30 minute walk depending on how fast you walk. And just like that, we're here at Hemingway house. Hemingway.
The destination is on your left. Hemingway home.
The destination is on your left. Hemingway home.
Okay.
Here are the prices. Do you take cards too, or just cash?
No, we take cards too.
Okay, I was just curious. They said that guided tours start every 15 minutes, and they do take credit cards. Last time we were here, we were told that they weren't. They don't. This cat is drinking water out of a fountain. Not handle it. Hi.
You to go in the room on the right, and I will be in the
Room.
9:30 guided tour.
Here we are in Hemingway's house. Oh, there's another cat.
Come on, guys. Let's get a little excited about this. Folks are going to learn a lot. We're going to have a good time while we're doing it. Anyway, guys, my name's Rusty, and I'm going to be your tour guide today. Welcome to the Hemingway Home and Museum. Folks, just a couple of preliminaries. July 21st, 1899 in Oak Park, Illinois. That's a suburb of Chicago. That's where he grew up and lived. 1921, he met and married the first of his 4 wives. That's this good-looking gal up here, Hadley Richardson. Now, folks, we call this Ernest Hemingway's Gallery of Wives. Guys, it's okay to smile and laugh from Key West, it really is, okay? But we also call Hadley the Paris wife. Almost immediately after their wedding, they moved together to Paris, France. Most of their married life in Paris. These folks, after Ernest Hemingway wrote his very first novel, Sun Also Rises, published in 1926. Folks, one of my favorites. I think he captures that incredibly creative period in Paris in the 1920s. Like no other written work I've ever read. The guys and letters were just fine until 1926. And that's when Pauline Pfeiffer moved into Paris. And over there mentioned she became a fashion editor for Vogue magazine. Well, folks, she also became best friends with Hadley Richardson. Now, ladies, that's a big mistake under normal circumstances. But when your husband's Ernest Hemingway, that becomes a really big mistake. Sure enough, Polly started a torrid affair. Hadley found out about it, divorced him in 1927. Polly married a couple of months after that divorce. Early 1928, Polly decided to leave Paris, do a little travel. First went to Havana, Cuba, then they decided to stop off here in Key West, Florida for a couple of days. Folks, as soon as Ernest Hemingway got down here to Key West, fell in love with this place. The ocean, the fishing, the bars. Today we call this the Paris Room. Lots of great exhibits, information, photographs, Ernest Hemingway's years in Paris. So let me point out some things Parisian. That beautiful Art Deco tile floor in the bathroom. That is original and from Paris, France. Brought down here by Pauline Pfeiffer. The folks, this top photo, taken in 1928. This is at the very tail end of Ernest Hemingway's Paris days. Well, he'd gone out for a night on the town, came home, went to the bathroom. Then they used to have the tall tanks up high with the pull chain to flush it. By mistake, he grabbed the pull chain to the glass skylight 8 feet up, pulled the entire glass skylight down on top of himself, causing that horrendous scar. I can stand here for an hour more, recite a litany of all the accidents Ernest Hemingway was involved in. He was a very accident-prone man. Of course, alcohol played absolutely no part in any of it. Guys, that's one of the reasons he loved polydactyl cats. They've long been considered to be good luck charms to sailors. Boy, did he need good luck. Guys, one more somber. This one down here on the lower right, taken 3 weeks before his death. Unfortunately, on July 2nd, 1961, at the age of 61, in Ketchum, Idaho, Ernest Hemingway took his own life with that very same Mossberg double-barrel shotgun. He had suffered from depression most of his life, and unfortunately, depression ran throughout the entire Hemingway family. His father, Clarence, big brother, his sister, his granddaughter, Margot Hemingway, all took their own lives. A real tragic strain that ran throughout the entire Hemingway family.
Said that tile's originally from Paris.
Bedroom. Now, folks, if you remember downstairs, I encourage you to come back into the house when our tour ends. But folks, if you only have limited time, only time to come back to a room or two, out of those rooms. It's chock full of great information about Ernest Hemingway. So let me get started. Beautiful original Tiffany glass chandelier. Of course, that is from Paris, France. And folks, this is all one exhibit on display. Something I did not mention downstairs, but I'm going to mention now. Right after high school, Ernest Hemingway traveled to Italy, drove an ambulance for the American Red Cross during World War I. Well, he was very severely injured doing that. There he is, lying in a hospital bed in Milan, Italy in 1918. He spent 6 months in that Milan hospital. But also being Ernest Hemingway, he fell in love with his attending nurse, Agnes von Kurowski. So they made plans to get married. She jilted him. She took off an Italian soldier, went on to live a nice long life. Guys, if you want to read all about that, read the Berlin chair. That's a Spanish midwife's chair. We call that the pitcher's chair. That's the catcher's chair. Guys, also a lot of great carved wooden figures all around the upstairs. Derived from his travels both in Africa and in the Caribbean. Right, folks, you follow me right up through these double doors out to the balcony. Key West Lighthouse, guys, completed 3 years before this house was completed, 1848. Walking right by it, that is the original carriage house to the property. Now, very quickly after buying this property, Ernest Hemingway took over the top part of that carriage house, which had been the hayloft to be his writing studio. Now, guys, in any event, we wouldn't be going up there as a group. It just takes too long for a group this size, get up and down the narrow stairs. You'll see, you go up on the left, down right here on the right. It's also a rather small viewing platform once you step inside the studio. And I want you to have all the time you need. Because folks, there's one thing you do here at the Hemingway home. You go up there and check out that writing studio, maintained and preserved almost exactly the way it was. As Hemingway left Key West for the final time, December 1939, right down to his original Royal typewriter. Did you realize Ernest Hemingway wrote the majority of his great life's works from that little writing studio? So folks, do yourselves a favor, once our tour ends, head on up there, up on the left, and down right here on the right. But while we're down here, I want to talk about this fountain. Beautiful Spanish olive oil, actually imported from Cuba by the Hemingways. And everybody sees the water trough on the ground. It's collecting water. Yes, no, maybe. Does anybody want to venture a guess as to what that water trough was originally?
On horses.
That's a good guess. Huh?
For the cats.
Well, it did become that, yes. What was it originally? Gentlemen, what is that?
Outhouse.
Urinal, yeah. I'm about an outhouse, but it's a urinal. Guys, that's not just any old urinal. That's an original urinal from the original Sloppy Joe's Bar and Grill. Folks, that urinal has been a cat drinking fountain ever since 1937. And guess what? The cats love to drink from it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the tour right over here by the swimming pool. Talk about the swimming pool. That is the entrance to our bookstore, your shop. Pretty cool place to browse if you have the time. ATM cash machine for you there in the corner. One set of restrooms for you right here. Another set in the old garage. That's the building on the other side of this carriage house. But we are here to talk about the swimming pool. Because folks, there was no swimming pool here in 1931 when the Hemingways bought this property. Well, the first thing Ernest Hemingway did after he bought this property, he constructed a regulation-sized boxing ring. He was an avid amateur boxer. Well, in 1936, Bill Ernie was called over to Spain to cover the Spanish Civil War as a correspondent. Gave rise to his famous novel, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Well, it only took Pauline a couple weeks after he left for Spain to find out he'd gone over there with Martha Gellhorn. Remember good old Martha came to town, would become his third wife. Pauline got so mad, she took $20,000 out of their bank account. And folks, $20,000 was a huge sum of money here in Key West in the mid-1930s. The contractors had to carve this pool out of the hard coral rock by hand. They created the only in-ground residential swimming pool in Key West at that time. Today, still the largest in-ground residential swimming pool in Key West. Well, folks, of course, Bill Ernie did return from his duties as a correspondent from Spain and said that Pauline was waiting right here where we're standing now, ready to introduce her newly arrived husband to the new pool she had just put in. This deck also just being put in at the time. Concrete's still a little wet around the edges. Well, guys, here comes good old Ernie for the first time around that corner to see the new pool. What's the first thing he asked Pauline? God, Pauline, what happened to my boxing ring? And how much did this cost us? She told him $20,000. Ernest reached into his pocket, pulled out a penny, held that penny up in front of Pauline, said, Pauline, if you're going to spend our money that foolishly, you might as well take my last penny. And he flung that penny and angered to the deck. And he was storming off to Sloppy Joey's Bar and Grill to drown his sorrows. But Pauline faithfully picked up that very same 1934 deep Denver copper penny, and she plunged it into the wet concrete right there, right in front of that green post. That's the original. Been there ever since 1937. Well, guys, as you can imagine, the marriage did not fare that well after the particular incident. They got divorced. Pauline remained in this house until 1951, and she died suddenly of natural causes. While Pauline lived here, she would throw her great pool parties. She'd always gather her girlfriends right up here, and she would say to them, ladies, of all of that man's wives, I'm the only one who took him for his last red cent. And that's been known as Ernest Hemingway's last red cent ever since 1937. Guys, thanks so much for coming on the tour. I'm going to hang for a few minutes and answer questions as promised. Otherwise, go out there and have yourselves.
So here is Hemingway's writing studio. This is his original typewriter. Look at all the little paw prints from the keys. They were called polydactyl, is that what they were called?
Yeah,
Polydactyl cats. There's also a cat cemetery. There's more names over there. What is that? Hi. There's a cat kennels. So there's a place to sleep. So this cobblestone is it's a little uneven, but it should be fine. Just be careful. Yeah, there's also steps that you have to climb. So if you have any type of mobility concerns, there's a lot of steps. So I don't know. You can obviously stay on the first. You don't have to walk up the steps, but you don't have to even do the tour. You can just stay on the first floor where the ground level, and you'll be fine. But a lot of the things, like his writing studio, are on the second level. We just finished the Hemingway house tour. How would you rate it? Out of 10.
10 out of 10. It's like a ship excursion.
Yeah.
Our tour guide was.
Yeah, Rusty was our tour guide. If you can get him.
Rusty?
Yeah, his name was Rusty, yeah. If you can get him, he was really good. He's very knowledgeable. He's friendly. He made it interesting. It's $18 a person to come into the grounds, and the tour is every 15 minutes. Highly recommend.
And they take cards now.
But the website says they can't, so. And then we've heard that other people said they couldn't, so I would just bring money just in case. But it says the lady said that you could, they could take cards.